What's up everyone, it's Colin with Kill Mode, and today I am bringing you guys along as I restore the headlights on my E39 540i project. And I'm going to show you guys kind of an overview of what I do. It will not be a step-by-step guide, but at least you'll get to see kind of the process and how I get from start to finish. Alright guys, so this is what we're starting with. This is my 2001 E39 540i 6-speed. I picked this car up about 2 weeks ago as a project to restore, refinish, and pretty much daily drive when it's done. So it needs some love. This car is kind of a barn find. It's been sitting, as you can see, for about a year under a tree, and I came to her rescue. So it needs some love. The engine covers are off at the moment, and you know, it's a mess. So I'll have another video up soon detailing the engine bay on this car, and maybe that'll be a little bit satisfying. It really needs the love. But today we're working on the headlights. This is what we're working with. This side isn't too bad, but if you look over here, we've got some haziness going on for sure, and I feel like the camera is actually doing it a favor right now, and it looks better than it does in person because they're pretty bad. So what you'll need for this project is some 2K clear, or you can actually use any clear you want, but you want some UV protection. So that's the biggest thing here, because once you restore them, the UV rays are what actually, you know, gives that patina, I guess you could call it, or the haziness on the headlights. So you want a clear coat that is going to be quality and protect them once you're done, so you're not doing this every 6 months. You also need some 600 grit sanding paper. I got this from 3M. It's wet or dry, so we're going to use it wet. We're going to wet sand these headlights, and some 91% isopropyl alcohol. The reason I got 91% is because it'll evaporate quicker. All you're using this for is to clean in between sanding and before you spray the clear coat. So those are what you'll need. Coffee is optional, but highly recommended. Alright, so the next step in the process will be to remove the headlights. You don't really want to do this on the car if you have the option. You'd much rather have them off. One, you're going to be spraying clear coat. Overspray, yeah, you can mask it all off, but that's a ton of work. And two, sanding. It's sometimes hard to get in these edges and around these areas when it's on the car. So I 100% recommend pulling these off the car. It's usually not too much work. On this car you have one screw there, one screw there, one right down there. Let's see if I can, about in that area. And you've got another one straight down to the left of that connector. So as you can see, I've already pulled my bolts just to make this a little simpler. So to get these guys free, I think the easiest method is to actually, I don't know, give them a good shake. Yep, that's definitely it. Now that I have them out a little bit, I can kind of see what I'm doing here with the connectors. At least a little bit better. Got another one over here. There were a lot on these headlights. I'm used to my Cayenne. It was one connector. Removed all of the lights. Sometimes BMW makes me wonder why they do things so complicated. And I feel like I'm scratching up my car. That's another thing to recommend, is putting tape underneath the headlight. Obviously I didn't do that. Probably should have. But this car needs a lot of paint love and a new front bumper anyways, so it's not the end of the world. There you go, got it. That's the headlight out. Repeat the same process on the other side, and then you'll have them both out. So now I've got the headlights out of the car, and the next step would be to remove these silver pieces down here that are actually a part of the body. And just like that, it's off. So the final step to disassembly will be to go ahead and remove the rest of these rubber seals and the plastic pieces along the bottom. So we've got some rubber right over here. To remove these, you simply pull it over the dowel, or like the little pin that's holding it, like that, and then it comes right off. These things are worn out. Yours probably will be too. They look really bad. Yeah, I'm gonna reuse them, but I'm gonna try to, I guess, clean them up, and I don't know. This is a 21-year-old car, so keep that in mind. These guys just kind of clip out of the little or pop out of the little clips they have for them right there. It goes on the other side of that and clips in, and then it comes out. This right here is kind of a jumbo. You've got a few clips in one. So what I found was that if you pull that one out, you can kind of just take these, give it a good twist. Let's see. Yeah, it pops right out. It did not break. It sounds kind of bad, but it's, let's see if it'll focus. Everything's intact there is what I'm saying. So, all right. Headlights are completely disassembled. The next step will be to go ahead and wet sand. So what I suggest doing is getting yourself a spray bottle, filling it with water. This is a single action, just spray bottle. And then some 600 grit sandpaper. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna spray this and spray your paper and wipe in a singular motion. So like left to right, and be sure to get the edges down in this area and up here on top, the areas that will be seen at least. And then once you have it sanded, which I'll show you guys as I do it, but once you have it sanded and it's a nice, consistent, smooth, matte finish that you can't really see through, that's when it's ready to be clear coated. Sounds really weird, but the clear coat actually is what provides the gloss and makes it really clear and transparent. So, grab a rag you don't care about. And as you can see, I've got a long way still to go, but it's getting hazier. And that's what you want. We want it to continue to haze out, but it's got to be worse than that. So I'm going to keep going, and then I'll update you guys once I'm a little further along. All right, guys, got them sanded out. So this is what we're working with as far as the lenses go. Pretty consistent. There's a few spots that I'm not just super in love with, but I think it's going to be okay. I got it warm. I'm shaking it up, and I've combined the two. Let's see here. It's not wanting to focus. I've combined the two chemicals inside of this can, and what we're going for is a wet coat. So we don't want it to run, but we want it to be wet enough that it's going to be glossy. We don't want any orange peel or dustiness in the finish. So I'm going to go ahead and spray the first coat. Alright, so that's the first coat on. I'm going to advise not to breathe this stuff. It is a 2K clear, which is not good for you. You can tell just how much glossier and clear the finish got just from one coat. So we're going to do 2 coats, but the first one's on. And it looks pretty good. Around 15 minutes, maybe 20. What I'm going to do is I'm going to test for tack, and so I want it to be just slightly tacky when I put the next coat on. That'll help prevent runs. Let me go on a little more wet, and then it'll also make sure that they adhere properly together. So this is the spot that I'm not super sure about. If you can see that texture in the video, not sure what's going on there. I did wipe it down with alcohol 3 times. I try to make sure it was nice and wiped down, but there's some weird stuff going on over here on this side. It's really hard to get on video, but kind of some haziness. But I'm not going to judge it yet. I don't want to judge it too soon because it hasn't even cured any. So that's the first coat, and I'll catch in with, or sorry, I'll follow up with you guys when it's time for the second coat. Took a pretty heavy coat without running. So they're right, this stuff is pretty solid. Okay guys, so I did get a little greedy and I got a run. So I was wrong. There's just a run on this lower side here. So once it all dries, I'll sand that out, redo it. But I need to be cautious on this side not to also get a run. So just know that it can take a lot, but not that much. Not the end of the world. I'll get it fixed. All right, so they've been sitting overnight. What a difference it made for them to sit as the clear coat, I guess, leveled out and cured. These things, these things look great. Most of the texture actually went away. There's still a slight little bit there, but I think wet sanding and buffing will get that out. I did do 3 levels of clear so that I would have a little more to buff away if I chose to do that. But overall, they look so much better than before. I'll put some before and after clips here, but wow, what a big difference. So that method definitely does work. You just have to be sure that the sanding is super even and make sure that you spray it wet, but not too wet that it runs. I'm just gonna pop the headlights back in so you can see what they look like. But these headlights, or I'm just gonna put them in temporarily because I'm bringing them back out to detail the engine bay. But I figured I'd let you guys see the finished product, as well as seeing it myself. So kind of a pain to get in because they snag. I think that looks awesome. I mean, I'm really happy with that. That's the method that I'm going to continue to use on old cars that need headlight restoration, because it really does work super well. And now they're protected by clear coat. I don't have to worry about fade again for a very long time. Well guys, that's it for the headlight restoration on the Barn Save E39 540. I definitely recommend this method to anyone with old crusty headlights with plastic housings. All you need to do is sand it down with wet sand on a pretty fine grit. I use 600. Spray it with a clear coat of your choice. I recommend 2K or just a high quality clear coat. 2 coats of that, sometimes 3. I did 3 so that if I want to buff it out later, I can without taking too much clear coat away. So that's it for this video. Hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, be sure to comment. Subscribe if you want to see more videos on the E39 or on my F82 M4. And as always, have a great day.